All right, again, thank you everyone and welcome to the session. I just want to take a moment to introduce you all to the topic that we'll be covering today, which is highly textured hair design. Again, you'll have an opportunity to go through some amazing education with none other than Jason Russell himself. He is the Learning Engagement and Artistic Manager for Pivot Point International. Very excited to share this information with you. You'll also hear my voice. My name is Daniel Dunworth, and I'll be bringing some of your questions and comments to life throughout this session. So again, feel free to utilize that chat as we go through one more time this highly textured hair design topic. During this session, Jason's going to share some wonderful information with you, but a few things that you could definitely expect to see throughout this is he's going to work on demonstrating a few what's known as comb curls on highly textured hair. He's going to kind of break down some of these steps taken to perform what's also known as a Dominican blowout, and also get an opportunity to observe some comb twist separation. So as he takes you through some of those topics, if you guys have questions on any of those, again, feel free to utilize that chat and post them there. Again, one more time, I'll take an opportunity to share those with Jason so he can answer your questions and comments during the live feed. So with that, Jason, make sure I've got you spotlighted. I think you are good to go. So I turn him over to you.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today for this version of our Pivot Point live session, which is highly textured hair design. As you can see here, I've already started prepping one of the looks for you. This is our beautiful amber mannequin that has been set with comb curls and also been separated. So I'm going to give her a little spin here so that you can kind of see what we're going for today. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful separated texture here that mimics natural hair curl when it's done, but it's more controlled and it has a little bit less frizz and appearance to it when it's completed. But we'll be actually going in and really vamping her up, giving her a lot of expansion. And what some beautiful curls that she has here. So for this activity, I went in and I lightened our amber mannequin. As you can see, she went from a level 2, 3. She's up in the level 8 to level orange range. Beautiful set here. So as I said, I'm going to show you how to do these comb curls and then to take them out. So let's look at our first section here. So what I've done is I have taken an amber mannequin, a separate one. And we've gotten her prepared for 2 different services. I want you to see the difference here. I have comb curls that are already been set here for you on the left-hand side of Amber. And I have just a section of her natural hair here on the right-hand side. So I'll be demonstrating this technique, comb curls, on this section. So let me get it all pulled in here close and tight for you where you can see her really well. And we can reach our tools. There we go. So my friends, prior to showing you how to do these comb curls, I'm actually going to show you how to separate them first. That way, in case when I'm putting these in on the opposite side, if I happen to get any water here, we won't damage them. But let's look at how to separate them so that they can turn into the same technique as our blonde mannequin. What you have to look forward to on the front of her hair a little bit later on is I'm going to show you a double process blow dry, which is sometimes referred to as the Dominican blowout for straightening hair. So let's look at our first section here. We're going to begin our comb out separation by simply starting at our first row here on the very bottom and clipping her up. As Daniel mentioned, please don't be afraid to give us any questions that you may have throughout this process. So in just a moment, I'm going to actually go over with you all the products needed for this, but let's just talk about the separation first. First things first, when you look at this beautiful comb curl, is notice how it coils all the way to the very end of the hair, which is very important. We're going to go in, pull tension on the end of the hair like so. You're going to separate it with your finger. Now you can separate these in 3 sections, 4 sections. How you want your curl is completely up to you. And then you begin to wrap this hair around your finger in the same direction that it was twisted during the comb curl, which I will show you that in just a moment. So you're basically taking one curl and breaking down into as many as you would like. So look how this is wrapping around my finger. Next one. Wrapping, wrapping, wrapping. Okay. The best product is an oil or light shine spray during this process so that it can have humidity resistance. Notice we separate. Let me put those up for you. Starting all the way at the base, we're going to then twist this all the way to the end. It's key to get all the way to that base when you begin to separate your comb twist, because we want to make sure she's nice and neat all the way from the base, going all the way up. And for instance, this one is going counterclockwise because that's the direction that I took it with my comb curl. And look how beautiful. We just took that one curl and broke it down into 4 separate little pieces. So this is where you get that beautiful, beautiful natural curl appearance when it's done, but it will have a nice, clean, non-frizzy result. Now, you can always frizz it up if that's the look that you're going for. So let's look here. Step number 2, here's our second curl. Remember, put a little tension on it. Give it a little shine spray. If you have any questions about the shine spray of choice, just ask your educators within your school, what is the product that you have available to you with the line that you're using, and I'm sure they will direct you to the best shine spray for this. Curling in the direction. Don't stop all the way to the ends. You want to make sure those have a beautiful circle on the end of them, non-frizzy appearance. So look at the difference. I'm actually going to break this one down again. Subdivide, run all the way through, and start at the base and twist. It has enough shine spray still on it for me to be able to give it a good shine without making it have an oily texture. My friends, keep this in mind. We want the hair to shine, but we don't want it to look greasy. So it's important that we use a light hand when applying your product. And then we can always build upon that amount of product, but we don't want to oversaturate her too early on. Keep working all the way down. So any questions so far about the separation of a comb curl? Separation of a comb curl.
Haven't had anything coming through, but again, I've seen a few people posting over in the chat. So again, welcome everybody. Make sure if you've got any questions for Jason, post them in the chat and we'll bring them to life.
Okay, so let's look at this up nice and close here. You can see the comb curl. Sometimes too, I even run this product after putting the shine spray. I run this product across with my fingers to help, really lock that product in, because I want it to be beautiful and shiny, and I'm trying to eliminate as much frizz as possible here. And you can see what a beautiful amount. We've just taken 2 comb curls and we've separated into all these beautiful sections when it's done. My friends, some people may oftentimes refer to this as a straw set. So sometimes you can hear, when we actually do a straw set, that means we're using a very small tool that looks like a straw, or could actually be a straw, or a roller, or a sponge roller, to make these little straw-like appearances. But this is one method also, the comb control separation. So let me re-section her here. Okay, let's go in with our light shine product. And if you'll notice when I'm working, I always work myself from left to right as a right-handed person. That way I'm working out of my way. Because if I did the outer right first and then I went to the middle, notice my hand would keep hitting the previous curl and it would begin to rough it up. So as a right-handed person, work left to right. As a left-handed person, work right to left. Okay. Notice this large section here. We don't want her to look like she's got Shirley Temple curls, so we're breaking down that section into about 4. Separate. Run your fingers along and begin to twist. This can be done on all types of curly hair. So my friends, here's what I want to encourage you to do today. Search the internet and look at the chart for straight, curly, tightly curled hair, ranging from 1 to 4, 1 being really straight hair. The category 2 is for wavy. Category 3 is for curly, and category 4 is for highly curled hair. So get familiar with that chart, because today on this Amber mannequin, we're working with a 4C hair type, which means it's a spiral curl naturally in her own natural hair curl, the tightest curl possible. So notice sometimes I can even hold tension at the strand and work this out. And what a beautiful result you get all over the entire head whenever you begin to separate these comb curls, excuse me. Let's go into our next one. I know this is a little repetitive, just bear with me for just a moment. Running my fingers across to help that product heat up, because when it heats up, it begins to shine. I'm gonna separate, Starting all the way at the base and work it all the way through. Most all products that you use in your schools and salon, all brands have some type of amazing shine spray. So that's exactly what you want to use. If you don't have the spray of choice that you like, you can also get shine drops or oil drops and emulsify them in your hand and begin to work them through. I'll show you exactly how that would work. Whatever brand you're working with, simply apply the product to your hand very lightly. And you'll notice there's a little dollop of oil in my hand. You would want to emulsify that very well prior to. And notice when I'm putting on product, I even do it like I'm putting on hand lotion because I don't want any heavy dollops in my hand because then that could create a heavy area of oversaturation. But I know now because it's rubbed in, I can take this next row and begin to work that product onto the top of the strand and onto the bottom of the strand. Okay. As I move to my outside comb curl here, I can even go in and emulsify it along the hair even longer, separate and twist. Now the size that you choose to do is up to you. I have taken one comb curl and broken it down into 7 or 8 or 9. I've taken one and just broken it in half. So the size that you want is really up to you. If you really want this to look super natural, using different sizes is what's going to give it the most natural appearance because no curl on anyone's head in the world, no two curls are identical. So giving it that randomized look is what's going to make it have that most natural. And this looks like it's natural curly hair that has just been combed out, but now it's more detailed and more controlled. Questions or concerns?
One question for you, Jason. When placing these curls in the head is, do you ever alternate the directions between clockwise, counterclockwise, or do they all move in a single direction?
That is a wonderful question. So I want you to think about it for just a moment. If this curl, we're going counterclockwise, and the curl next to it, we're going clockwise, those two curls would have a tendency to want to lock up on each other when they fall. So for this technique, they all are moving the same direction. That's a great question. They all are moving the same direction. So let's move on to how to actually put these beautiful comb curls in place. So we're going to move to our adjacent side. I'll give her a little bit of a move here for you. Again, this was Amber's natural hair texture, as you can see here on the left. Simply dried in place. First things first, and that's product choice for this application. We're going to go in. We're going to wet her down really well. This is not a service that should be done on moist hair. You want it nice and wet. Nice and wet. Once the section is nice and wet, my friends, you're going to go in with your product of choice. For this specific look, we went with a medium to firm hold gel. One more time. For this application, go with a medium to firm hold gel, and I'm going to show you the right application. Once we got her in, going in with approximately a quarter size amount of gel, emulsifying it well. Once it's emulsified, begin at the ends and work your way up to the base. When applying product properly, the key, my friends, is to make sure that after that product is applied, it is always, always, always gone through and evenly distributed with a comb. So even though we applied it at the ends and base, this comb is now helping us to go through and distribute this product all throughout. So you can clearly see Amber's beautiful texture here once it gets wet. The natural S pattern that occurs inside of it. So let's start our comb curl at the bottom. We're going to begin with a horizontal parting at the bottom and simply isolate all of the hair here up with a clip. You'll notice with curly hair, when sectioning, notice how I always go all the way to the ends of my hair and then clip it up, because I don't want any tangles to start occurring into that section that will be challenging for me to get out later. So it's twisted nicely and kept up. If there's any of the hair remaining dry, it's important that we spray that down. Let's open up for any questions at this moment. Product application, and then comb through for complete saturation. All right, my friends, we're going to be using an all-purpose comb for this, and we're going to be using the fine teeth the entire process. So I'm going to get her turned just a little bit, you can see. Get her up close. Here we go. We're going to start by detangling. Let me clip this hair out of the way where you can clearly see what's going on over here. Okay. Again, with this technique, because I'm a right-handed person, I'm going to work left to right within my section. Okay. Begin on the left-hand side with an approximate 1/4 inch section. With your fine teeth, you want to detangle very well. Fine teeth, you want to detangle very well. Let me get you a better view where you can clearly see this happening. Okay. The teeth are going to face to the left. When they go in, you're going to take that comb and rotate it 360 degrees, and then let go of the tail and begin to slowly keep turning. Don't stop 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 turning. You're going to keep going, keep going, keep going. At about 3/4 of the way down, you can hold the strand and keep turning the ends all the way through and simply allow it to fall. Look what a beautiful little spiral that you get on the hair here. This is the perfect comb curl. Again, take a small section, comb it nice and neat with your fine teeth of your comb. Teeth go in facing the left. Teeth going facing the left. The teeth then rotate around. And once you make a 360 degree, you can simply let go of the ends for a little while. Begin to rotate through, rotate through, rotate through, rotate through. 3/4 of the way, hold the strand, and then keep going. Do not ever pull this comb out. You keep turning and turning and turning until it just naturally falls out of that comb. Question? Okay. I think we have a question.
One question
there, Daniel.
just came through. Is this a similar method to start beginner locks or any type of locking method?
We wouldn't want to lock it on this one. So that's a great question. So for locking, you know, there's back comb locking, there's also twist locking, but this would not be a good technique for locking. That's a great question. All right, take our clip out. Now here's what I want you to focus on next for sectioning. When you take your next parting horizontally across the back, my friends, when I do this, I try my best to bricklay these comb curls. So watch. Here's my sectioning line here from the previous row. I wouldn't want to go straight up to make a vertical stripe in her hair. So I try my best when I do my next parting to go in the middle of the last twist. So notice this line will go right in the middle. So that's going to stagger those to keep me from getting that checkerboard appearance on the scalp when it's all done. So teeth goes in, facing the left. And remember, you're doing this as close to the base as possible. I'm kind of doing it a way where you can see. You begin to rotate it around. Notice this tail goes through, and then just begin to twist. Just begin to twist, 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 twist. At a 3/4 point, you can hold so that the ends don't fall out. And you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. Don't ever pull it loose. You keep going until the hair just naturally comes out of the end of that curl. Look what a beautiful little spongy spiral curl that we have there. And then you just continue to work your way up this section of the head. Any questions? I think they're getting it.
Nothing new at this time yet. Looks like they're doing good.
Okay. So let's go to the chat feature here, and I'm going to ask you a question. When creating comb curls, what is a good product to apply prior to the comb curls? What product are we using for wet setting here? Give me just a moment. What product are we using for wet setting? Any responses there, Daniel?
Nothing coming through yet, guys. So go ahead and use that chat and let us know what product did Jason put in prior to performing these comb twists. Here we go. Now they're starting to come in.
Okay. What kind of responses are we getting there?
We've got a couple coming in saying gel.
You got it. A firm, medium to firm hold gel. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, here's the next thing that I want you to practice and keep in mind. Is some firm hold gels that when they dry, they will create a chalky feeling in the hair, and it will create this, you know, this overall chalky appearance. So practice with a professional brand gel so that we don't get any of that chalkiness. So this would then continue all the way up through the back section of her head, and that would allow us to be able to have a beautiful set of comb controls when you're done. When they're all dry, they go under a hooded dryer, and then separated. Again, you have your full head application here. This beautiful comb set that's all dried up. You can simply use your judgment on how it's separated, how it's designed. I'll give you a little example. When I finish these, I don't typically like to still see the really perfect coiled appearance there. So I do like to go in and play with them quite a bit. Let me separate these out for you. Remember, product of choice is a nice shine spray. Separate. And if you have any questions what direction it's going, look, when you hold tension on this curl and you let it go, you can automatically see which direction it tries to curl up. So when you're separating it, that's exactly the same direction. If I tried to take this the opposite direction other than which I did the comb control, watch what it does. It turns into a fuzzy mess. Okay? So that's why when doing our twist that we're going the same direction, because you're actually uncoiling it at that point. You want it to stay nice and neat. So always, always, always detailing it in the same direction as that curl was put into place. Let's do a few more here. Shine spray, separate, and go ahead and go in and all the way to the ends. Don't stop anywhere short of the ends. That way you get these perfect little curls in place that do resemble a straw set when it's done. So next, let's drop a few right here in her face. We've got some that are still nice and chunky. Shine spray. Separate. A lot of people even go in with like a wide tooth comb when this is finished and even back comb some of these curls to give it that really, really nice and editorial look. It makes it really random and really fuzzy and frizzy that's intentional. And it's all personal preference. Look what some beautiful curls she's got. So my friends, if you are practicing this technique on your amber mannequin, just keep in mind, if you have practiced any relaxer techniques on your mannequin already, please don't go in and lighten her the way that I have lightened mine. So choose one or the other. She can be lightened or she can be relaxed, but don't blend the two together. Mine is all natural curls. Nice and separated. And we're finishing up here on this last section. One good thing I want to show you something too. Notice that sometimes if a curl does tend to lose shape or lose its appearance or get frizzy, just reapply a nice product. Emulsify that by running your fingers along it and simply just start back over with your finger twist during your separation. This will allow you to get those beautiful detailed sections back in the hair prior to all your final style. So look how amazing this is. If you really want to go take one step further and actually going in and really roughing her up, she doesn't have to stay perfect. She is up to you, how you want to style her. So you can even bring those fingers back. I'm holding the ends and bringing the texture back a little bit, holding the ends. So this is giving it a type of back combing to increase the volume in her hair. And using your fingers as a rake, watch these three fingers going opposite. This really begins to expand that overall profile that we have of her.
And what do you guys think in the chat of Jason's work? Do you guys prefer these curls a little more polished, how it started? Do you guys like a little bit more of that voluptuous and full figured hair?
Oh, we all like big hair usually, don't we? There we go. So what a beautiful design that we have here. So I'm going to take any final questions that you might have about the comb, curls, and the separation and or product used during this process before we move on to our second technique. All right.
We got one voting that the bigger the better. Jason, I'm going to leave them in your hands for the second technique, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Thanks for joining us for a few moments. So guys, our next section that we're going to do here, I'm going to show you one quick technique known as the double process blowout. You may have even heard it referred to before as a Dominican blowout. What this technique is used for, it's to really control tightly curled hair. We will actually be straightening it. And the process is called double or even sometimes triple set because it's going to first be put on rollers. After it's put on rollers, it's going to be round brushed. And then after the round brush, it's going to be flat iron. So many students always ask me, they're like, why so many processes here? So here's what I want you to think about. Is when we work with really curly hair, what we're going to deal with is we need humidity resistance and we also need longevity. So could we just blow dry the hair out and flat iron it? Absolutely. But this technique where we do the three process allows us to put the hair on rollers, go under a hooded dryer. The tension and heat is built up in the first stage. Then we use a blow dryer and a round brush. We do heat and tension in a second stage. And third and final, the heat and tension from the round brush. So what you're going to get here is more longevity because we continue to change those salt bonds, those hydrogen bonds over and over again throughout the hair. So our first chore is making sure that we get the rollers in right. Here's what I want you to see. When you look at the roller, I want you all to think for a moment, does that look like that was naturally curly hair around this roller? The hair has to be rolled with super amounts of tension to look as though it were straight hair put on that tool. This hair that you see here is the same texture as this hair in the back of her head. It's all natural curls. So we have to practice this, over and over again. And I'm going to show you how to do it so that you can get curly hair on a roller that looks like straight hair. Let's look at how to make that happen. I'm going to be showing you from the very top of her head. Put her in position. And I've got a section that's right here behind the very first roller that I'm going to show you on. Key is the hair must be nice and wet. My friends, think about wet water and also products like gel. When they go into the hair, they cause the natural curl to stretch. So look, see all that natural curl that you see going on in this strand? Now that I've wet it down, and we're going to apply a light amount of product to this section, you can start to see just by finger ribboning and tension, that texture begins to disappear. So the amount of water and the amount of product in there has to be perfect in order for us to get this hair nice and smooth. So I'm going to borrow one of my rollers here from the bottom. So next thing that's key is you'll notice that I'm using a fine-tooth tail comb. When you comb the hair with a comb where the teeth are separated far apart, they will never get neat and clean and organized around this tool the way we need it to. So that fine tooth goes in, neatly pulls the tension on the hair, you can see here. We're going to work by bringing the roller in and under the strand. Notice how you go in with your index finger of your opposite hand and you smooth down those ends first. You've got to get them really tight and begin to do your wrap. Once you get about halfway down the strand, notice you should be able to pull on this roller and nothing is coming out of the hair. Look how sleek the hair has gotten. So you notice how much tension I'm pulling on this tool. And then we're going to go thumb up, thumb down, thumb up, thumb down, thumb up, thumb down. Look how sleek the hair has made it across that tool. Then we're going to go in with our clip and we're going to secure it nicely to the base in the tightest position possible. So we shouldn't see any of our natural hair occurring. If your roller begins to twist forward and you start to see all of the natural curl beginning to appear, watch what's happening. Your clip is actually in the wrong place. So when you clip this hair, when you get this roller down as far as it will go, like so, it's tight, Notice I can't get it to roll any more within my fingertip. So that means I want to go to the bottom inside toward the back of that section and apply it to the scalp. That's what begins to hold the most amount of texture for this double process blowouts procedure. We would then do the entire head in that manner, and the pattern does not matter that you choose. You can do a full bricklay roller set, you can do a full 9-block roller set, the pattern is up to you. But look what happens. When you take these rollers out, it should look like that is with straight hair that was put on those tools. That's what's key here. So any questions so far? Daniel's not with us any longer. I'm gonna go to the chat to make sure no one has any questions. My friends, here's what I'd like to ask of you. For the next 15 minutes, if you do have a question, just unmute yourself and ask. Taking that second one out. And I'm gonna show you the Dominican style blowout using only this side of the hair here. So look at what's already occurred if you've done this process right. She's already set under a hooded dryer for 30 to 45 minutes. She's already dried. She absolutely could be styled out like so and just left. But remember, she's only had one heat application. Therefore, she's gonna have less longevity than if we follow the process all the way out. Any individual who's getting a Dominican blowout or a 3-process or double process blowout is technically gonna leave the salon with their hair straight. This is all just steps taken to get in the heat that we need for humidity resistance and longevity. So any questions here? All right, let's look at step number 2. It's the blowout portion. We're gonna work in the same sections as we had with our rollers. Section number 1. And it may get loud on you for just a moment, but I'll try to turn this off really quickly for you. My friend, you're gonna use a large diameter tool, and you always use your concentrator for this. We want it hot, we want medium airflow and hot temperature. Notice we go in with our thumb, hold pressure, and the concentrator skims along the top of the surface. Thumb, like you're peeling a fruit, apply pressure, concentrator smooths along the surface. Once the base is done, you follow the end through with your round brush. One more time. Thumb, hold, apply, and the ends are pulled through. Notice the curl will start relaxing from our second step. That's exactly what we want to see happen. Go into our second curl. I'm gonna do one more for you. Here's that technique again, just like you're peeling a fruit with your round brush, concentrator. Pay attention. Notice I'm going down at 0. Skim right along with that concentrator. The airflow is going away from the client's head. Step number 2 for the blowout. And then we do our third and final technique, which is the press on the hair. And when I've taught this so many years, people say, well, I could have just blow dried and flat on her hair. Why was the roller set necessary? Just keep in mind, the main objective for the roller set prior to is for longevity, because we've reinforced heat and tension 3 times now. The proper flat ironing, my friends, keep this in mind. We gently close the plates first, just to warm the strand up. I am not closing the plates hard at all. And we're gonna do a medium to firm press now, and we're going to do a double press, which means it's going through the strand at least 2 times. So you begin to get this beautiful silky result in the hair from our Dominican or double or even triple process blow dry. Second step. Remember, proper flat ironing means clamp in gently first, This is barely being pressed together with the plates. Now we start back at the base, and now a firm press. Firm press. Comb is always used. Our flat iron is following the comb so that there are no tangles that are being pressed into place during this beautiful 3-step process. So this is the final result of what you will see when the entire head has been done with a roller step first, then smoothed out with the round brush and blow dryer, and the third step being our flat iron. Any questions or concerns that you may have, my friends? I'd like to thank you all for being here in this session of highly textured hair design. Whether you're doing comb curls that are separated, or whether you're doing a beautifully smooth, pressed out version of amber using the 3-step or double-step process blow dry. Good luck with all your endeavors. Thank you again for staying tuned to this Pivot Point live session. Have an amazing day.